I'll quote from the book now. Basically, okay, so again, and you understand where, in a little bit. Okay, so hi, welcome back. The next, and you'll can't fucking do YouTube yet. Okay, so the first thing I took away from this book, the most important thing for me, the most important one. Okay, so hi and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to take you through something I've wanted to do for a long time, is take you through one of the books that I read. I read probably around a book a month on average. I get loads of questions of them, loads of people responding to them on Instagram asking me about certain books or about certain things that I put up about the books I'm reading. So why not do a book review? I love reading. I've only started like 3-4 years ago. I never finished a book cover to cover before that, but we'll cover that on a different topic. So today's book that I'm going to run through is called Mindset. It's my favorite, probably my favorite ever book. It's the one that I've gifted the most to other people. So you know that Tim Ferriss question if you've listened to the podcast, but it's the one I've given most as the gift. I'd say I've given it away about 10 times to different people. I think everyone should read it, absolutely everyone. I think if there's one book that you could give to blanket across to everyone that would help change, or that has massive potential to change the way they think about things, then this would be the book. So it's written by Carol Dweck. She's a professor of psychology in Stanford, and she's done, you know, thousands of hours of research, thousands of hours of studies, along with her teaching. And like all experts that I like hearing from, and I like reading things they've wrote, she breaks really complex topics down to something very, very simple in a book that's like 200 pages with lots of brilliant stories. So let's get into it. I'll break it down for you and I'll give you my interpretation of it. That's what this will be about, is my interpretation of these books, not trying to review them for the New York Times or anything like that. Okay, so the first thing for me that I took away from the book personally, these are the most important things that I took away from the book, the first number one was fixed mindset. Okay, so what is a fixed mindset? So you avoid challenges, you get very defensive when you have to go out of your comfort zone, when you have to try new things, you give up on things quite easily. Effort means no talent. If you have to work hard at something to get better at it, it means, oh, I have no talent, I'm no good at this, I'm not talented enough to do it, so I'm just not going to bother doing it. You can't take criticism, so any criticism, anyone that tries to point you in a better direction, whether it's like just constructive criticism or criticism, you get really defensive. You don't like taking any criticism, you don't like anyone telling you what you should improve on or how to get better at it. And you're threatened by other success. Something that we see all the time is people hating people who are successful for no good reason, just because they feel like it points out their flaws. So I see Conor McGregor is unreal at MMA and he's obviously super rich, so I hate him because he's makes me feel inferior about myself, or I hate him because I tried to do MMA and I was no good at it and he's the world champion. So something like that. That's obviously a very general example, but something like that. It's so important that you understand the fixed mindset and you understand where in my life it might be holding me back. So just to quote from the book, a fixed mindset comes from the belief that your qualities are carved in stone. Who you are is who you are, period. Characteristics such as intelligence, personality and creativity are fixed traits rather than something that can be developed. So it's very important that you give these things a little read, see, do I have a fixed mindset? It might be in regards to being healthier and getting fitter, might be in regards to my sport, so soccer, Gaelic, rugby. Do I have a very fixed mindset? You know, when someone challenges me, do I not like it? When the going gets tough, do I give up? In your personality, I'm just never going to be a confident person. I'm never going to have the confidence to do that, to wear that, to try that, to go to this place. I'm never going to have the confidence to do that. So that you look at any traits there might be, and you look at them in a very fixed mindset state. Identifying that and knowing in your life and trying to see maybe today or tomorrow or over the next month where you have a fixed mindset. It might be in regards to money as well as a common one. Where you have a fixed mindset is very, very important before you start trying to improve it. Okay, so the fixed mindset is the one side of the coin, and the other side of the coin is the growth mindset. So the growth mindset: embrace challenges, persist through setbacks, effort equals improvement, you learn from criticism, and you're inspired by others' success. Okay, so obviously the growth mindset is the one you think you should be leaning towards, the one that sounds the more fun, the one that sounds the more beneficial if you're going to be successful, if you're going to progress at anything you're doing. So embrace challenges. So when challenges come your way, you see it as an opportunity to improve. Okay, you have to take on someone who's better than you, or you have to get in shape in a certain period of time. It's a big challenge, but you're excited by it. You look forward to it. You don't hide and look for excuses straight away like the fixed mindset. You persist through setbacks. Setbacks in anything are inevitable, whether you're studying for your college course, whether you're playing a sport, like we said, whether you're trying to earn money. Setbacks are inevitable, and things that knock you off track are inevitable. That you look at setbacks as things that, okay, it might be holding me back a little bit, but I'm still going to persist and go through with what I said I was going to do till the end. Effort equals improvement. So big massive thing for me personally is effort. Constantly praising effort and constantly making sure I can get the best effort out of people. As a sports coach, as a personal trainer, getting people to give more effort and building the amount of effort they can give day by day is just absolutely huge. It's literally my job to do that and to make sure people are giving enough effort to improve all the time. Learn from criticism. No one likes it. No one likes criticism. I get an awful lot of it myself, but most of it, because of the people I surround myself with in the different aspects of my life, most of it's constructive criticism. But that still doesn't make it easy, but I find it very helpful, and it bangs off ideas in my head. It makes me look at things from a perspective I wouldn't have seen without them pointing out that little negative criticism. And inspired by other success. Okay, so a massive one, to be inspired by other success. I personally know for me, I look around an awful lot for success. A big problem I think in this day and age is people only look at people like Ronaldo or McGregor, like we said, for success. But like, you can be inspired by your parents, by your teachers, by your coaches, by your family members, brothers and sisters, by your uncles. You don't need to be inspired by someone who has 1 million followers on Instagram. You can be inspired by someone down the road or someone you live with every day. I know a huge change in my mindset was when I decided to look closer by for inspiration, and you know, it's there in abundance if you just open your eyes to it. So that's the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. Okay, so we had our first 2 points, the fixed mindset, and that explained, the growth mindset, and that explained. So our third point is now versus not yet. So it kind of sums up the first 2 points. So now is very fatal, very final, it's very fixed mindset, and not yet is very growth mindset. It's a different way of looking at things, and how the language you use with yourself, the language you use in relation to all your problems and in relation to how you're going to progress in things is absolutely crucial. And a subtle change from now to not yet might seem like it doesn't matter, but it's absolutely massive in the way your brain views things and the way you look at situations and you look at problems and opportunities. So now, if we're going to say now, so I can't do this now, I don't weigh this weight now, I can't lift this weight now, I can't get on the team now, I don't know enough to pass the exam now. If you keep saying I can't and now, it's going to affect your psychology, that you're going to end up with a fixed mindset of, okay, I can't do it now, and that means I'll never be able to do it. And it's very, very important that gradually you change that language that you use with yourself to not yet. So it's the difference between I'm not going to study that, I'm not going to pass the exam now, and I wouldn't be able to pass the exam yet, is absolutely huge. It's going to change the way you approach the exam. So you're going to approach the exam with a yet attitude of, okay, I might not be able to do it now, but if I keep studying, if I keep aiming to get a little bit better and add up the 1% all along, I'm going to be in a very strong position by the time the date comes. If I'm trying to get in shape, I'm not in shape now, it's very fatal and final, and it could treat you, it could make you feel like I'm never going to make any progress, I'm never going to lose any weight, I'm never going to put on any muscle or get stronger. Whether if I'm not in shape yet, it leaves you for, okay, there's a lot of different options I can take, there's a lot of different bullets I can fire before I'm finished this task, and I'm going to use all those bullets, I'm going to express or go through all those options bit by bit, one by one, until I get to where I'm trying to go, which is very, very growth mindset orientated, and that's what you're going towards. So it might seem very simple, but now versus not yet can really change the way you think about problems and the way you approach trying to get better at any given task. Okay, next on my magic board, the fourth thing we'll go through. So growth mindset, fixed mindset, now versus not yet. And these are the four topics that Carol explores in the book: sports, businesses, relationships, parents and coaches. So I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but I'm going to go through something that I think a lot of you'll find very interesting, that I personally really changed my mindset and really changed the way I look at things. So in sports, of course, you have your fixed growth versus growth mindset. I always had a growth mindset. I always had the mindset that I could get better at this if I practiced enough. I wasn't, a gifted athlete or anything, but I always had the ability to look at things and say, okay, if I work on this, I can get better. It's probably helped me become a coach very quickly as well. So sports, having a growth mindset never really came into me, but she explains in the book how you could have a really strong growth mindset in sports, and yet in another aspects of your life, with maybe business, you could have a very fixed mindset. You could have a very, okay, I'm only going to make a certain amount of money and that's that. But sport, I'll never stop progressing. I'll never stop getting fitter. I'll never stop getting stronger. When it comes to work, money is for people who are greedy. Money is for people who are rigging the system. Money isn't for me. So for me, it was relationships. So not obviously romantic relationships, but all types of relationships I had, I would say, a fixed mindset. So in society nowadays, we're given an idea of relationships through films and that, which is no bad thing. That it's perfect, love at first sight, happily ever after, fairy tale type stuff. Okay, and this, like, I'm using romantic relationships, but any type of relationship, even with your brothers and sisters, even with your parents, whatever. So if you can look at your relationships as this needs constant work, we need to understand each other more and more. Two people are very dynamic and they're constantly going to change, hopefully grow, hopefully improve, and the relationship I have with that person at work or whatever needs to change alongside it, then you're going to be far, far happier and you're going to be far less frustrated, as opposed to taking a very fixed mindset where, oh, if I have to work this hard at communicating to this person, if I have to work this hard at getting my point across. So some people I coach football with, some people, Keen and Dave, who I work with, my family members, my girlfriend, I communicate with them in a far different and more clear way now than I did in the past. And that was just because, hugely in parts to this book, where I could look at, okay, how does this person understand what I'm saying? Maybe it's my fault. How do I put it in a way that's clearer to them? You understand the way they think, and then gradually build a relationship where you communicate with each other far more clearly, and the two of you start respecting each other a lot more, and the relationship gets better and better. Okay, so we'll use the example of a romantic relationship, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a relationship in any aspect of your life. So you could have, now back to my point, what really opened my eyes for me was coach and I could always coach a football team and say, okay, this is how we're going to get better, this is how we're going to dissect things. And often people who play sports or go to the gym can have a fantastic growth mindset. I'm always going to get a bit stronger, I'm always going to get a bit leaner, I'm always going to challenge myself in the gym. And then they're going home in their relationships and they're like, he's just that way, they're never going to change. She's just that way, she's never going to change. She's never going to understand what I like. He's never going to understand what I like. They're never going to understand the way I think about football or the way I think about my business. And that's exactly the opposite mindset, and it's what's holding you back in your relationships than what was bringing you forward in your gym or in your sport. So I thought that really changed the way I think about things and really opened to my mind that I can grow and I can have a growth mindset in all aspects of my life, not just going to the gym or not just sport or whatever it might be. And so I had a good growth mindset in sport, and I got very frustrated back all the time with people who would have a fixed mindset with sport. I suppose I still do get frustrated with people who have a fixed mindset in the gym or in the sport, like, oh, I'm just not going to get better, I'm always going to be overweight, I'm always going to be slow, I'm always going to do daft things in my sport. I always had a really frustrated view of people. Why can't they just see things that you can get better? When I was being that person in relationships, I was always just viewing a person as, okay, that's his personality and that's that. When I should have been like I was with the sports, just working on communication, working on understanding, working on mutual understanding and trying to get better and communicate better until you have a better relationship all around it in different aspects of your life. That for me was the biggest takeaway in this book, that you can have a really good growth mindset in certain aspects and then be very fixed in the others. And I see it in my friends, my family, I see it in my the teams I coach, the people I personally train. Some people have just a fantastic growth mindset in certain areas of their lives, and then others just have, and then another aspect of their life they'll have this really negative mindset, and you're like, it doesn't add up. But I had that myself. And once I got over that, it really changed. It was a game changer for me. Okay, so finally, to finish, I hope you enjoyed this. Very nervous putting this out, but it's something I wanted to do, and I think I'll do more of it. So, the last point is that we love, okay, so we love talent, someone who's naturally talented, naturally strong, beautiful. You are beautiful, you are gorgeous, so you don't have to work at it. You are an artist, so maybe gifted musician or gifted at singing or something like that. Natural ability, even the word gifted itself, naturally smart. So the more you praise someone for their natural ability, the less likely they are to have a growth mindset, which is so true. You see it all the time. The most naturally talented at anything, whether they're naturally talented in school, which definitely was a no-go for me, or naturally very good looking, naturally very strong. You tell someone, next thing they adopt this mindset, oh, okay, I better not do it too much because that'll show that I have to work at it. And if it shows I have to work at it and I have to study really hard, or I have to keep going to the gym all the time, that'll think I'm not a natural anymore. It'll mean I have to force my ability I have to force hard work to grow and to change. This is a big problem with praising people for their talent rather than their effort. So after I read this book, and Charles Poliquin used to say this all the time as well, never praise performance, only praise effort. So with my personal training clients in the gym, I'd never praise someone for being naturally strong, and we get some guys in there and girls in there who've never lifted weights before, and bang, perfect technique, really strong, really quickly. I'd only ever praise them on how much they're exerting themselves, how much effort they're putting into things. Okay, so always praise effort and not performance. So you might have a footballer who's just like massively talented, just huge, huge athletic ability, in soccer, Gaelic, rugby, whatever your sport might be. And they're only going at 70%, but they're blowing everyone out of the water. You can't praise them for that. You need to praise them for the amount of effort and how hard they're working. You could have someone who's bang average athletic ability like mine was, and they're just giving so much effort. That's the person and that's the culture you should need to create. So when it does come to progressing in a sport, to getting in better shape, because they're the two obvious examples that I'm going to use all the time, because they're the ones I cross all the time in my life. When it comes to getting better at that stuff, you try to praise how hard someone is working and not how talented they are. Okay, so if you're praising how talented they are, chances are they're going to start working less. When you constructively criticize someone, chances are they're going to start working harder if you do it in the right way. So as a personal trainer and a football coach, it's absolutely crucial that I know how to constructively criticize people. So criticize people so they take it the right way. Now, it's a constant battle to do it properly, and it's a constant battle to get it right, but it's something you just have to be able to do. You have to be able to tell PT clients, you're not eating right this way, you're not eating at the right time maybe, you're throwing your progress away at the weekends, this technique is wrong. So I'm constantly telling people they're wrong and criticizing them all the time, but most of them take it in a really good way and start making changes around it, which means they've taken on board constructive criticism, which means I'm giving it in the right way. Exactly the same with the sports team or whatever. They need to be able to take what I'm saying on board and not reject it. So that's a lot in your communication and the message, which is something I work hard on. Okay, so finito. So one last thing. So fixed mindset, growth mindset, now versus not yet. The topics she goes through in the book, and how they aren't intertwined. Just because you have a growth mindset in one area doesn't mean you have a growth mindset in all the rest. Why we love talent and not to praise it too much, and that's pretty much everything I've went through today. So I've been really nervous getting the first 2 YouTube videos back up, but I'm really glad I've done them now. And if you've any comments, questions on this book, or any questions you think, or any observations on what I was saying here, Charles Poliquin, Tony Robbins, and this is one of the books I gave to my dad, and 3 of them really recommend it, so they're 3 opinions I really respect. So if you have any other comments, just message down below and I'll get back to you. And if you have any inquiries about the book or any book you'd like me to go through, then I'd be glad to help. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.